They don't
I would
have
ass-
no evidence, and there's no way they could ever have evidence because it's impossible.
For those of you who have been following this case over the last 4 years, you've likely heard many of these statements before. But for those who are new or just now taking a closer look, this video offers a window into the words spoken by those closest to Summer Wells. From local news interviews to live streams with YouTube creators, these are the accounts, reactions, and raw emotions shared by her parents, neighbors, and community members in the wake of her disappearance. Some of it is shocking, some of it is heartbreaking, and all of it helps to paint a picture of what was said, how people responded, and what questions still remain. These are their words.
110-110 Ben Hill Road off of Beach Creek should be the first residence on your right. Reference to a missing 4-year-old. The parents have called in and advised that the mother had went for a walk, came home, now they can't find her. They've been yelling for her. She's been gone for about 10 minutes now.
10 for 1 in America.
110.
10 for 1 half Madison. 335, I'll be in route as well.
Those guys probably on the next to them. They've got several neighbors out there. That's probably going to be best to also.
10-4.
29 cents, so go ahead and notify rescue. Fire police for search.
35.
Did you say when you got the original call that mom went on a run and when she came back that Sandra was gone?
10-4, that's what the father advised. He's at work about an hour away, trying to make his way home.
10-4.
10-4. Do you want us to try to contact Tina?
Let 302 know, and I think he's going to let rescue make that determination.
302 has been notified. He also wanted me to just remind you to be sure check the house camper, even if they've said they've already had.
10-4. Hawkins County Rescue Squad, all members, mutual aid request, search and rescue with Churchill Rescue Squad. The staging area is going to be at Mount Carmel Baptist Church on Beach Creek. Hawkins County Rescue Squad, all members, mutual aid request from Churchill Rescue on a search and rescue. Staging area is going to be at Mount Carmel Baptist Church on Beach Creek. Also requesting respond with six-wheeler and command trailer. First page, 1911.
On each other, even if you don't like your neighbor down there and you hate a motherfucker or you hate your family member down the road, you still keep an eye on their stuff, you still keep an eye on their kids. I mean, that's just how it is, and we all keep an eye out and ear out. Like I said, currently there's perfect storm working, and that's how I'm pretty sure this happened. But you know, this community is still unheard of, because even the people who hate each other keep an eye out for each other. You feel me? It's the weirdest shit, but that's how Beach Creek operates. So, you know, if it can happen here, hell far, I just don't even know. Nobody say fucking anywhere, you know. I don't. But you know, I don't always believe fucking comment warriors, and don't listen to, you know, the shit that's being said about Candace and Donnie either, because I promise you 99.9% of that's bullshit. I've made the mistake of getting on 2 or 3 times seeing that, and it's lit me the fuck up. And you know, just listen to what the cops themselves say and the feds. Go with what they're sharing and help by sharing what they share. Not what I share, not what I say, because I'm telling you, mine's just an opinion. You know, my shit don't mean shit. What the cops say, what the feds say, what the local PD say, that's what matters. Share what they want you to share, and share Summer's picture and information. because I don't need to remember. It started from what I said. Well, her neighbor this and her neighbor that. Fuck that. I don't. And you won't believe this. While we're searching for Summer, we go down to the other property. Well, actually, the night before, when the weirdo was on our property that bought that piece in the yard that's across the bank, and then was arguing against his own survey that he bought a crest of a bank and a vertical cliff, but nobody provided him with that survey. He was sitting on our property, cut through our lines and stuff, whatever, and he parked himself right in the middle of the first two no trespassing signs, and it had already been told, maybe whatever. Anyway, the cops removed him that night. So we were so worried about this guy and how he came off that we went looking that night all the way into Bayless, then every holler in Beach Creek, making sure he wasn't parked in there. And look, this guy hit me so weird. I was like, So, there's extra there I'll get to in a few months. But anyway, so we go looking at our other properties, right, Evelyn? And get down there, and the guy who purchased yours has now got a gate up over the county road. Not just back where your all's gate is, but over the fucking county road. And as I guess decided he's just going to try to block it off till he can do it long enough to get adverse possession. So I guess we're 2 properties in this week.
I've seen his house. It's ugly.
See, take it from the kid. This guy has done.
It's cobalt blue.
No, that's the wrong house.
Wrong
We're talking about the one at Jen Evans. But anyway, this guy's put up a damn gate across the county road and locked us out of our driveway that connects with your house. So I don't know what we're going to do about that, but it's going to be a couple weeks down the road before we figure that out with this other property situation. This guy's getting ready to start fighting us over like an idiot and lose. So anyway, just thought you'd enjoy that hilarity. It didn't matter. We climbed his fences and went over and got to her stuff anyway and searched for Summer and did what we needed to do so he can bite me. And I hope he enjoys that on camera. Anyway, fucking nightmare to us, and so I can only imagine them. But this isn't right. And for one of our own to be gone from a creek and on that road especially tells you something about what the hell's happening in there and what's changing. Definitely had some of the stuff that's not been going on there been going on, like all the fucking properties for sale and all the state shit and all the fucking work crews in there from all over the goddamn country been in there. This would have never happened. Somebody took the opportunity with all the traffic coming in and out. That would be my guess now. I'm not saying that's a fact, I'm just saying my guess would be that somebody has taken the opportunity if that's what's happened. And that those things, had they not been happening, she might be where she's supposed to be right now. Let her run nude up there all the time and all this other shit. And they didn't have no problem doing that, apparently, according to Dudley. Because I just don't know. Like, and I wrongly thought, like, well, maybe I just didn't realize how many people they were letting her be nude around like that. I thought maybe it was just like, okay, well, that's neighbors, like, coming up to her or something, so, no biggie. But I didn't realize how many people they were just letting up there around her. But I guess I should have known. I guess I should have been like, no, these people ain't right. They probably are, but until Dudley and until I heard Dudley, it's like, holy shit. So anyway, for years we had not met them. They were over there. What happens is every time Andy is gone over the weekend or a few days or whatever to Norris Lake, somebody who knew the property well enough, like I was laying in bed at night, and my arm, maybe an arm and a half length away from the window. When it first began, it was spring, summer, one season, because I had the windows open. It was just a screen, And, man, it made you feel kind of crazy, right? I'd see a shadow creep up and stand to the side of the window. Almost every night he was gone. Pretty often, anyway. And they would just stand there, but even with all the dead leaves and everything else, they were so quiet, even I doubted It's like, man, am I seeing what I'm seeing? Am I seeing what I'm seeing? And as you can tell from my videos for months now, I could hear on that property. So whoever was doing that, they'd been on the property enough to be able to pull that. And it's going to be a hell of a way for her to find out. And it's going to be too late. Regardless. I wish I'd been out there having it every time that day. Hell, he wasn't there. How was he going to know? I stayed in as much as I could because he told me to stay in. Because then maybe I wouldn't miss. Maybe I would have done seen or heard about things. I wish I'd never been on those banks. And those hills. And the roads. For the property lines, survey lines, snakes, doing for him, sorry ass monster family again. Even though I can barely stand or move. Such a habit of mine through life. But hell, I was trying to save somebody else's crime. A property that was a damn joke anyway. They were getting screwed and F'd so hard by the sellers and by the imaginary reevaluation there. And advertised out of state when nobody really comes to look at or can't. They buy these things and they're getting scammed and conned. And then they're going to be, even if they can find a way to build like a 2-foot shack, they're going to be staring at all of our kids' bedrooms because of the way they're all placed and the way all the houses are placed so that nobody's in everybody's business on those particular pieces of property. So there's somebody right in the central that would have been looking at all of our kids' bedrooms and shit. Like, if they could even, which can't. There was none of all that shit. Even on Body's film. None of those lazy fucks in his family who were using me to lie to me about that one spot. They used me as why, and usually I was being given the opportunity and the voice to speak and want to take over. I thought it's so strange. I couldn't figure out why. No, but then you find out when the setup fully comes in, favors are pulled. Why? You know why. You know. Wish I'd never been out there. But I cared that some dumb idiot from out of state was getting screwed. I cared that myself and my neighbors have some weirdo traipsing across it, access fully to everybody's windows, which they couldn't, right? But you know out of staters, they're going to try anyway. You just have to live here to know how that goes. Oh, and they all think unrestricted means unrestricted. It doesn't. Oh, but you're trying to save so many points, right? But me doing that. And I wish I hadn't, because, it's one of the what ifs, the wish list, right? What if me being out there moved up somebody's timeline that was watching or waiting? What if all the activity and all the out-of-staters coming to look and me being out there and all that pushed their timeline up? And they got so super lucky in that day. And it just actually. After an incident, like I said, we'll get back to, which is now part of what we're trying to all figure out. But, anyway, she was on a dirt bike with the next youngest, and I'm not gonna call names other than Summers. And, diaper full on that one, hanging off, old as the hills. And his little sippy cup, it's full of liquor. I know that because of, announced it like it was something to be prideful about. Because he wants something to drink. She told him no, we couldn't have that because it had her liquor in it. Hello, new neighbor, right? I had her crying in tears. I mean, just like in a ball because for like fucking 5 minutes, she wouldn't lay off. And it was Summer's dead body's laying there. Who gives a fuck about it? And this and blah, blah, and she's dead. Just the grossest.
My heart. I'd do anything to have her back.
Well,
little girl.
If there's any way you can find it in your heart to please release her somehow. I don't know how you might do that. I mean, you're probably scared of going to prison for the rest of your life and everything else, I'm sure. But please find it in your heart, have mercy, and find a way of letting her go, and where we can get her back. And just please have mercy on her, and and us, and her brothers. She's such a loving, good spirit. Please don't hurt her. Please let her come home. My biggest fear is, her being tormented or locked in a dungeon or basement or something, because she loved to be outside all the time. That was her, unfortunately, her downfall. 'Cause a lot of times the boys would be inside and we'd be like, "Where's Summer? Why'd you leave her out there alone? Go get Summer now." And that's happened over and over again. And we'd come out and she would always be close by, but we was always coming up. She had to be outside. She was an outdoor person.
She loved to be outside.
And I'm so afraid that she's locked away. She's such a loving heart and everything, and I'm afraid that she won't be able to, locked away where she can't be outside or play with a puppy or anything, love nature, and that's my greatest fear, that she's not able to do any of these things anymore, or that she could possibly, I don't want to think she's dead, but it's a possibility.
She was a tomboy. I shaved my head. She wanted to have her head shaved like me and the boys did.
She tried to shave her head.
She tried to shave her head herself.
And make it, I think you can see it in some of the pictures, and it was getting out of control. So we decided to shave her head off and let it grow back long, and she shaved her head so she wouldn't feel bad, and but it didn't bother her at this point. Well, I knew right away that she was abducted. I knew that right away, and that's what I told them from the beginning. But they have to go through their, I forget the word.
Investigation.
They have to do one step at a time, I guess. But I'm sorry that they had to spend so many man hours in these woods and everything. I've seen them limping and everything else, and I feel for them. But I just wish there was a way that neighbors could search neighbors' houses, and then if they're not willing, get a search warrant or something. But there's just no way you can search every single house, in the eastern United States or whatever.
I'm sorry that you feel this way about us, but we love our children with everything we have. We've never went without, thanks to Summer's daddy and my husband. He's always provided for us and has worked as much as he could and can, and still is. And I'm sorry that you guys feel that way, but that's my baby, and nobody would ever treat her like that as long as I was around. Ever. And nobody would ever treat her like that as long as I was around. Ever.
For you that day, walk me through what you remember.
I remember her showing up that morning.
And what time was that?
About 10, between 10 and 10:30.
All right.
She asked if Hunter could go fishing with her in Summer because her mother was in the emergency room because of her knee.
Okay.
Because I guess a couple weeks back, I took her a trip to Gatlinburg and the boys were kicking the grandmother in the knee.
Oh my.
She didn't have the boys with them that day.
She didn't have any of the boys.
So it was just Summer and Candace.
And then
and Grandma.
Yep.
Was Grandma in the truck as well? or in the vehicle?
Not when they first picked Hunter up, no.
Okay, so she comes
She was
over.
at the hospital.
Okay, so she comes over. What vehicle is she driving?
She was driving her mom's Silverado.
Okay, that's what I remember you saying. That's why I said truck. Okay, so she pulls up, and does she stop where? Right out front.
Between the pole and my mailbox.
Okay.
To pick Hunter up.
All right.
She came in, she goes, "Can Hunter go fishing with me for a little while?" I said, "Sure."
Did she text you before?
Nope, she just
showed up.
Yep.
How did that strike you?
She was always trying to show up and talk to me. She was the first. When me and her stopped talking, she was stopping by my mom's, talking to the kids, talking to my mom, unexpectedly, you know.
I was just sitting on the floor playing with the toys at that time. I said, "Summer, you want to help plant flowers?" And she jumped up, left her toys a mess, of course. That's cool.
Yeah, well, that's what kids do. It's their job.
What?
Okay.
We walked over here and we transplanted these cactuses from the little pots that they were in. And transplanted these ones here into this bigger pot and that one into that bigger pot. And then she took the rocks that we've gotten from different gem mines when we went up to Gatlinburg and stuff.
Okay.
And she's the one that spreaded all the rocks around in here. And then she put her puppies in here because she wanted Chase in there, you know.
Okay.
That was cool.
Where are those puppies now?
What do you mean?
Oh, the little puppies, her real ones.
Yeah, these little.
Oh, yeah, those little guys. Oh, that's Paw Patrol.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the police one.
Yep, that's Chase. He's always on the case.
Okay. Okay.
We
I see another one over here.
She put him in there. Yep, you're on the cactus.
Okay. Don't take those out, okay?
No, I leave them right there.
I know.
And then we went in my mom's way. We can't get in there.
Yeah, that's fine. Went in there.
We went in there and got some candy and stuff. She gets from grandma.
Okay.
And I said, well, I'm going to go back over to the house. She wanted to go back, so I said I'd go back, you know.
Okay.
And I brought her, I literally walked over to here. Like, literally walked right to here where I could see the boys and on the kitchen table.
Got them.
And I watched her walk in there. And afterwards, when she was already in there, I walked over. I said, "Why?" And he looked at me and I said, "Watch Sissy, I'll be right back." And that's when I walked back over to my mom's.
Okay.
And I was fixing her brace and stuff like that. And I said, "Well, Mom, I got to go back over with the kids." And that's when I come back up into the house.
Okay.
With the boys.
Okay.
Okay.
You walked into the house.
Well, I walked into here. Get up. I walked in here and them three were sitting right here in a row with their eyes glued to the TV, like always. And I said, "Boys, where's your sister at?" Well, she just went downstairs, Mom, to play. So I went over here like this, because this is where the stairs are.
Okay.
It's actually down under there.
Oh, down into her bedroom.
Our bedroom, and then hers is on the other side.
Oh, okay, in the basement.
Yeah, in the basement.
Well, this makes sense now, see?
And then I yelled and I said, "Summer, Summer." And she didn't. I listened for a minute. I didn't hear nothing. So I went like this. This is how I would get down here.
Yep.
I don't know if you want to come down here or not.
Do I got to be tiny to get in there?
No, you should.
Can we come in from the other side?
Well, we can, but it'd make more sense if you went this way.
Okay, I'll follow you.
Telling where we went and how we did it was all twisted up now.
What's different that you want to clear up?
Well, because when we left from the emergency room, we went straight to the smoke shop, and that's when I got the cigarettes and stuff like that there. And then we stopped at the hippie house, and I got those cheap vapes because they're cheap there. And then we went and put my mom's prescription in, and then we went to Warriors. And then we come back to Walgreens, got Mom's prescription, went to Sonic, then to Price's, then to his house.
Okay.
And that's exactly
that's the order. Okay. So he had it different from what you remember.
Right.
Okay.
I think she had shorts on at first.
Okay.
Yeah, because she had shorts on because her mom put her bathing suit on her.
Okay. Where did she put her bathing suit on her? Do you know?
Inside.
In the house.
Yes.
So she changed her in the house.
Yeah.
Did she take the clothes with her?
Yeah.
Miss Allison, do you know?
No.
Okay.
I don't remember.
She was dead asleep in the bathroom.
That's fine. That's fine. So she changes her clothes here, and she takes her clothes with her.
Yeah.
Okay. Then what happened?
But then, when she got changed from swimming, they had bought her an outfit to put on because they were supposed to go to Jonesboro, I think. Yeah, Jonesboro for this big park, like water park.
Okay. So that was the initial thought?
I guess so. I mean, I don't know.
So what did you think was going to happen?
I thought we were just all going to go fishing, swimming.
And then in the truck she changes the plan?
Nah, she changes it to swimming because she grabbed her mother.
Say it again?
She changed it to swimming because she grabbed her mother.
Oh, okay. So so from here, where do you guys go?
From here, we go to the hospital.
Okay.
Pick up her mother.
Pick up grandma.
Not even like 10 minutes later,
okay.
We go to Walgreens.
Is that near the hospital?
No, it's on Fort Henry Drive.
Okay, so it's the Walgreens by the Warrior Park?
Yeah.
That one as you come out and it's right there?
Yes.
Okay. Not bad for an old man, huh?
No, not really.
Not bad, not bad. I'm cooking here.
So there's so we went there.
You go there first,
and then,
after you pick up grandma.
Yeah.
Then what happened?
And then we put this prescription in.
Okay.
Which is like probably about like 10, 15 minutes.
Do you know what kind of drugs?
No, I have no idea. She wouldn't say the name to it.
Got it.
And then we handed the prescription. They said about like 10, 15. Well, it's going to be 30 to 35 minutes.
Okay.
Well, I was saying the line was long.
Okay.
Because you have
who went inside the store?
Nobody went in. We went through the drive-thru.
Got it.
The drive-thru. And then while we were in the drive-thru, her husband calls her talking about this dude named Andy or Andrew on the property that's been there for like a week or so, she told me, that keeps stalking little kids.
Who's that?
Some dude named like Andy or Andrew. I have no idea who it was.
Okay. And why did Don call?
I have no idea. He just called. I don't even know if he was working at the time.
Okay.
But if he was working, he obviously wouldn't know that there was some dude looking at the little kids. I'm sorry, but there's a nice car over there.
Use the shovel to get the dirt out. Use the shovel to get the dirt out.
Okay.
It's like right across from it.
And where's grandma sitting in the car?
No, she's sitting on the passenger side where she was sitting.
Okay.
No, she's sitting on the passenger side where she was sitting.
Car. Okay. And where are you and where is Summer?
Summer was sitting on the, like, okay, so you know how there's like 3 seats in the back?
Behind grandma or behind Candace?
Oh, she's sitting in the middle of it all.
And why is she sitting in the middle at this point?
Because I asked to sit on the side because she was her grandma just got out of the hospital and she's like, let me sit in the passenger seat. I said, okay, so I sat behind her mom.
Okay, got it. So then what happened? She goes and buys cigarettes?
And,
who gets out of the car?
Just Candace.
Just Candy? Do you call her Candy?
No, I call her Candace.
Candace?
Yeah.
Okay. Is her nickname Candy though?
No, that's her mother's nickname.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So Candace gets out?
Gets out. She goes grabs cigarettes. She buys a puff bar. She buys
a what?
A puff bar. It's a little nicotine vape.
Got it.
I don't know if everybody else knows that, but it's a nicotine vape.
Got it. What color was it?
It was black and purple.
Okay. Was there a blue one?
Blue one? Yeah, that one was hers.
That's hers?
Yeah, because she got a blue Skittles one.
Okay, then what happened?
And then she bought the Twisted Tea.
Twisted Tea. How many?
Just one.
Just one? And bottle or can?
It's a can. If I can get a picture real quick, I'll show you what it looks like.
All right, go ahead.
It's a whole can, if I'm correct.
You doing okay, bro?
Yep, sure.
Yeah, okay, cool.
I ain't worried, to be honest. I just know that they have to have done something because she did not walk off that property. That's all I know. Twisted Tea. I just yawned so much for no reason. I didn't stay up all night. That's what it was like.
Oh, okay. So let me show this. Oops. Man, oh man, I'm not the smartest tool. There we go. Right there, Twisted Tea in a yellow container.
The money in it.
Got it.
So she got minutes for the rest of
a lot of senior citizens use those.
Yeah.
Do you think I need one?
What, straight top?
Don't answer that, Hunter.
Our grandma does though.
Oh!
Free phone.
There you go.
I was out the car with Summer, and supposedly the kids went to work with the father, And so
Now you say the kids. Who are the kids?
Wyatt and Josie.
So the boys.
Yeah, the boys.
Okay, went to work with Dawn.
That's what I was told. Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
And so.
Do you happen to know, or when you got to the house on the 15th, were you told if Grandma Candace had gone swimming to the swimming hole that day, or had gone out and run errands that day with Candace and Summer?
I do not recall about what happened to Grandma or where she was during that time. I know Candace was showing the officers and myself videos that they had of the boys and Summer swimming. I know they had gone swimming earlier that day, but as far as the grandmother, that I do not. I don't know any information on that.
Okay, no worries. You happened to mention a video that you had seen of Candace showing the Summer and the boys were swimming.
Yes.
Do you know, was that all of her boys, or was that the young boy we were talking about?
The video I saw was of Summer and her three brothers, but not the other young man.
Was it from that day or from a totally separate time that you'd seen that video?
That's that video that she showed me was the day she showed me that day that Summer went missing.
Okay. Did she say it was taken that day, or it was taken a different day?
Yes, ma'am. It was taken that day because they had gone out there swimming.
Okay.
Yes, Candace was talking to Don when she got to me. Yes, she was talking to him. Apparently all the way down that driveway. Because I really thought when she pulled up to me that there was a whole ass person in the car. I was like, where the hell's the person? I just heard her talking to my other dude, having a conversation with extremely heatedly. And there was nobody. And I couldn't figure the hell out. And then as I'm talking to Candace, I'm like, kind of panicked and freaked out, whatever, and Don pops up on the speakerphone. And the one other thing he said, he's like, so you're telling me somebody took my baby girl? And he's the first one to introduce that idea.
That's about 3:30 when I got elected. That's when Andy came in around that time. I elected him. And we left just went on to the store one. That's about 4:30.
So you think Summer went missing around 4:30 was the time that she came over?
Yeah, it's something between.
Because she didn't call till 6:30.
I left here at like 4:30, and then when I come back in, they done had the holler shut down. And I had to take him. I mean, they let me in. They had to move everything to let me in.
Just this kind of shrill, almost animalistic scream.
Animalistic, but not an animal.
Knew it was, wrong. It wasn't a dog. It wasn't an animal.
That vigilance kicking into overdrive. Jody Sue and her son went out to look for the source of the scream.
My son and I decided to go out, look and see what we could see. We went back onto the bank. Didn't see anything. Didn't hear anything.
They went on with their evening. The kids returned to being kids. Jody Sue headed down her driveway around 6 to tend to flowers.
And at this point, I start hearing Candace hollering for Summer. And then my brain immediately went, scream earlier, this, uh-oh.
Jody Sue was the first to hear those calls and the first to join the search for Summer.
I dropped my purse. I tried to yell up at Candace. I was like, I'm looking, and I started looking.
Jody Sue searched one side of a creek, Summer's brothers the opposite side.
And you gave statements to the police, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Jody Sue had been interviewed many times by investigators, bringing up the scream often. But the sheriff doesn't believe the scream is related to the disappearance of Summer Wells.
She's been interviewed numerous times by not only my agency, but the TBI and FBI, and we don't find anything with that complaint or information related to this case.
So I'm wearing sandals, and I know the best thing I can do is get into the water. So I step into the creek. Oh, because from there I can keep tracks down. Because when you live in areas like ours, you know, worst case scenario. You also know what happens if somebody can't be found. And you know that staying in the water keeps scent down for dogs. Cross over and I start into a spot that's kind of clear and head towards the creek. Because I think, well, you know, maybe brothers have left her behind, or she's fallen off the top of the hill, she's gotten hurt, or, you know, the usual things, right? And we need to find her, if that's the case. Because in my head, I'm like, well, it's been a while since I've heard this scream, this noise. If she's hurt, she's been here a while. Yeah. And if he was any type of smart, he'd stop being led around by the nose and told shit. Like little or I ever implied he'd actually seen Summer's body. That's not the case, nor has it ever been the case. But because he wants to listen to stupid creators who pay him and stupid stall pump and everybody else and Jenny's and Adrian's and shit, that's what he really thinks. I can't help or fix that. Nobody ever put him out like that because that's not what happened. He was just mentally and emotionally abusing little and I, and you know.
Your passion, because it seems like you know, and you know.
Those kids come here in the summer before summer died.
You
know where her body is, and if they don't let anybody up on the property, then that means she's probably good. She's up there. And they're trying to cover up where the bones are gone too, where there's nothing, you know.
No, I won't let any authorities on
How many?
the search.
Don't they all
If
like
it was
40
my kid,
acres?
I'd be like, have at it, people. Yeah. You got nothing.
Matter of fact, he put no trespassing signs all over the trees around the house. Oh, this is under surveillance, trespassing. No one can come on my property. He doesn't even want packages going up to this thing. He has a drum as a driveway at 110. Yeah.
When Candace,
you don't think so?
Wait a minute.
Her and
Candace was, she probably did do something to Hunter.
No, she did not.
Bullshit. I saw it with my own eyes. There were signs there. There was signs there. I didn't like it. I warned them. I bet.
No.
Yeah, be in denial. But it hurts.
I think.
Too stupid to realize what they're doing, which is helping this group try to contaminate, discredit, and contaminate jury pools and shit like that against my eldest.
He was worried about himself, of course. And I know that's why partially him and mommy and daddy run and try to pull favors to keep me quiet. Discredit, do whatever, right? Keep people safe from what he fucking done. And what a possibly big role he's played in possibly what's happened to other women. Well, shit went down and he knew he was wrapped up. Suzanne, like I've said many times, he knew he was wrapped the fuck up. Just like he was with Coleslaw. His wife was crying the last few nights and didn't hold me and his other wife for months. Even forcing arrest, he was, you know, if you don't want to quit the job, it's going to ruin our lives. Wait and see, like I've told you all. I don't give a fuck about the protection. Like I've told you all, my life is forfeit. I knew. Because of him and his bullshit again, my life will be forfeit. And he's an idiot for playing into their game. Because he's too stupid, and so is Coleslaw pushing from the background. Because these creators knew what they were wanting to come when they pulled him out. Well, they've all got it now. Some of it. Genius over there didn't see he was being fucking used. Because he was too greedy, so was Coleslaw. Guess they're low on dopamines. I don't really give a fuck. He was too fucking stupid and gullible. Me, I understood. I knew what was happening. Yeah, I'm not wrong. He's gonna sit in his truth and he's gonna fucking know. Fuck him.
Well, I don't want her to do anything that is uncomfortable for her. Just make sure.
Okay. Alright, what was it he was doing?
That day.
Do not say his name or not anything like that.
That day he was, whatever, doing his usual roundabout screaming at people. But that day, I went down to the cabin. I sat outside the cabin while he was, on his escapade about whatever it was. Then I got into the cabin after he screamed at me about being near the cabin. And then he comes back a few minutes later after storming off. And then he comes down, says something he said to Boog.
Which is our brother.
Yeah. And then he started screaming again, and then he was like, I already know Summer's dead bodies. I know Summer's dead somewhere in a ditch, I know Candace did it. I know Dawn did it, whatever. And, he was just screaming about that. And then, he was like, after that, it was like, I'm so tired of, he mispronounced Equisearch, and he said Aqua Search. He screamed, I'm so tired of Aqua Search, holding me back to all these police officers and stuff, and he was on about that. And he was screaming, and yeah. And then he went back onto the Summers dead body thing in worse detail. And then
I was asking him to stop. You were asking him to stop, but he was.
Boog wasn't. He was outside the cabin.
Yeah, and then he joined into the chorus. And he stood up, told him to leave. Just leave. Get out. Stop. More crying.
Yeah. And then I slammed the door on him to the cabin, and then he stormed off. And then I guess Boog told him to shut up or something outside, and then he left to go be a reckless hazard on the road.
Well, thank you so much for being strong and brave and telling us that. I really appreciate you. And there's a lot of love for you in chat right now, and everybody's telling your mom to give you a big hug. So, thank you.
Do what? Who is this? This is Benny. Oh. I sitting here. Yeah. Hey, man, can you give me some insight on why Jody Sue was saying that your daughter said that you told her you saw Summer's body. Can you make any sense out of that? It's a bunch of bullshit. Like, why would she say that? It's so it's like she says it, but then like everyone forgets that she says it, I guess. Like, but did she involve your daughter in telling that lie? I mean, I don't know. I don't. Oh, goddamn. When are y'all going to stop on this? Who? I mean, why no do this? This is a new goddamn year, and I'm sick and fucking tired of this shit. Then you shouldn't have answered the fucking phone, bud. Why the fuck you calling my goddamn phone? But did she involve your daughter in telling that lie? I mean, I don't know. I don't. Oh, goddamn.
No, I never, ever seen Summer's dead body. I don't guess it really matters. I had a dream one night that I seen her dead, yes. But it was a dream. Who knows?
Right. Amy Lou, you sent pictures to my email. Let me check it.
All right. Well, that's good. Y'all look over and ask why exactly it is he was selling drugs to the children at 110. why he was potentially causing little girls over there to be sedated and to be touched with the shit he was selling over there. Go ask. Because I have fucking questions. Not standing in front of him anymore.
And all of y'all hinting and winking that he's gonna fuck with her again. Like y'all had forced into play several times between them, and she wants no contact. She wants her name not to be on his lips. So do the judges in courts in those papers. He's abusing a child in the open by calling her a fucking liar about what he said. It wasn't poor Hims that had a dream. He'd ever cared enough about anybody to have a fucking dream about him. Especially not Summer. And yeah, I did notice the Ryan thing at the end. I don't know what the fuck that's supposed to be about. I'm supposed to, I guess, keep or care about Ryan. I don't. He's a built thing. If y'all don't get that yet, I don't know what to tell you. That's why I've just whole ass ignored it. I know what it's doing, and that it was sent certain places and burial places. His monster was in his chat and all these other things, and all these weeks they ain't coming together for y'all to get it. Yet I don't know what to tell you.
Summer alive or dead to you?
I hope she's alive.
What do you feel?
I mean, we all know statistics. In one way, I hope like hell she's not chained in somebody's damn basement somewhere for years. Oh, and then my favorite part today, finding a baby shoe in the fucking car under the floorboard, so it tells me it wasn't wrong about new kids being around fucking Baltimore either, and possibly fucking his. So there's another kid walking to be fucking abused or killed by another motherfucking abuser. But nobody's gonna give a shit until... What's my favorite goddamn word this year?
Hopeless about Andy's mom, y'all. For real, the bitch has abused the shit out of my children. And that's recorded in courts, so y'all go ahead. Children. Yeah, well, apparently you don't, Rebel. And you have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. So you can talk to me in chat all you want over, but I'm telling you, it's recorded and documented that that fucking bitch abused myself and my children. They were actually charged for that, so carry on. Nobody's trying to brainwash anything. Get a life, Rebel. Get a life. A good fucking reason for it. And he fully lost his shit because he knew what he'd have to say. If it ever went to court, it would out him with coleslaw. He knew why he was late that day. All these other things. You know, and the second phone, who knows what the fuck was on it. Can't tell you. And I know he also often carried his mom and dad's cell phones as well. And they gave him those on purpose, you know, etc. to get up to fuckery. Because anytime they could create pain in my life, the world would help him cheat or do whatever they did. So it's like living around a pack of narcopaths that have all abused you since you were fucking 11 years old.
They can go get names elsewhere where they gotta fucking live.
I'm just so.
They want to help target me and my fucking children and shit on an
We're
individual
not
that I know
trying.
damn
I'm
good
not
well
trying to
that
do that
do
right
that. They can go find another fucking neighbor to speak.
What I'm confused on is why you're defending Andy in this point, to where Andy is the one I'm pretty sure Hunter is mentioning, to where an Andrew who does
He's
drugs.
trying to make it look like it's Andy, but it is not fucking true.
But why would Chris say that's not
I don't know that that's what Chris was saying wasn't true.
Oh, I do. I know that for a fact.
Well, whatever, but I know unless Andy was doing something like really fucking out there, you know, that.
So there's a chance.
I don't think so, no.
Well, you said so unless he was doing something. I mean, there has to be a chance at that point.
I mean, y'all ain't gonna play this bullshit Silverstone crap with me. I'm telling you, I'm being put in a place where I feel like I have to defend a fucking monster that very much abused us, terrorized me for 26 years, and none of y'all have an issue with that. You put the right shit on the right monsters.
That's not true. We do. We're
And
very.
that's exactly how I feel, and it keeps
very
fucking
very
happening.
cognizant of anybody who's abused and things like that. I'm sorry.
No, YouTube's naughty, but I am telling you that out of all the fucking drug dealers, why in the hell they would stand there and be like, oh, the guy that they terrorize randomly every few weeks for a gram of pot, and then for 6 months don't contact. Yeah, it must be that Andy. You know, yeah, he might have mentioned him or trying to put it on Andy as an our abuser, yeah. But whatever the fuck is up behind there, right? Like, I know Hunter has names of the real motherfuckers they're buying meth, crack, all this shit from. Why did he not mention them? They know any of the company they had there, any of their own dope dealers, but, you know, Don's own drug traffic, you know? But his Knoxville people, has he named any of those outright to the public or over here on YouTube to target? No, they've used YouTube and social media to target everybody around Summer that knew too much, might know too much, might have seen too much. If I find the clues I'm looking here for on YouTube and elsewhere that I know were there early on, but I wasn't here for, and I'm having to look through thousands of hours of video and posts to find. If that time comes and I find the little pieces I'm looking for, trust me, the first person and people it's going to are the police and the feds, not YouTube.
Good for you.
So
awesome. And if you ever need to speak out and you're stuck somewhere, or you need to talk to somebody, you know, Josh and I here anytime for you, I'm sure.
Yep.
Anybody would definitely, and whatever you tell us outside of YouTube is obviously different, and that's the truth.
And I've had 4 conversations with that guy. I interrupted, and it was probably the best thing that ever happened to me because he was screaming the N-word at me.
Listen up for.
Yeah, Ziggy's.
And then I had mentioned on one of my lives about how he was trying to sling bullshit.
Yeah.
Because one of the questions by the cops, we were all questioned up and down the community about, I guess, what we took as him trying to say there was this, it was almost like Scarface type things, like these POC males in like Escalades, shiny new Escalades coming out of Ben Hill. When the cops asked me that, and I think Andy was with me beside me, and I literally just slow blinked at them. That's not something that would have went unnoticed. And my other neighbors up and down Beach Creek, like as we were talking and we were being let in and out of Beach Creek, we'd find each other at the gas stations, other places, and they're like, girl, did they ask you? And I was like, yeah. And everybody have a good laugh about it. And I'm like, that's Don's bullshit for the week, and who's blaming it on? They're like, what the hell? Well, I mentioned that on the live that I did in between the first N-word drop and then the, 40 time usage in 5 minutes on you the next night. That live seems to have triggered something, but it was bad. I was like, shit, I just got Josh tacked. He's real mad about the bullshit Scarface people coming in. And he said it was Knoxville. That's what got us there. Like, do you know these dealers coming in these cars from Knoxville that are POC? And we're like, what the hell? Is he trying to blame his own Knoxville people on somebody else? And he, what?
Well, do you know the connection between Knoxville and Atlanta?
If someone could post Jody Stu's Facebook, somebody could post that for me in the chat. I'd appreciate that.
And people, I apologize. My videos, I've been unlocking and locking them off and on all day because of
people.
People. Well, I'm doing it to prove a point.
It's funny when you take content away from other people, right? It kind of ruins their day.
It really does.
You know, Knoxville, you can go in Knoxville. There's a bunch of different freeways to go a bunch of different ways. You know, when you get there. And one of the pipelines is straight down to Atlanta. Atlanta is the
I'll tell you, most people here where we're Oxycontin Highway, we are the epicenter where it joins. We are the crossroads for it across the country.
Right.
But most people from Hawkins go to Del Rio or to Knoxville. I know Knoxville the past couple of years has been real big on the meth, fentanyl, the harder, in between the gravel and synthetics episode, which seems to have set off certain usages, because before that it really was just like mostly pills and stuff around here, right? And at least real meth. Then it became the gravel and things. Then it became the bathroom and bug spray and screen door dope. And now they're back on real meth. Now it's fentanyl and heroin. And these people do not seem like the old school heads to where they're coming back from it even clean for a long period of time. These new heads that have hit all these new kinds of dope here, seems like they're forever and permanently not just burnt, but something's forever wrong with them to where they'll never, ever come back like old school heads on real dope did.
Somebody in the chat just said, I'm close to Knoxville. My son is in jail tonight for fentanyl. It's an epidemic, and you're right.
Don't.
And we know there are creeps around there, but we just never thought that one would, lay in wait and try to grab her like what has happened. But, especially midday, not midday, but it's daytime. I don't know. But I've tried several times. I've snuck up. She'd be behind the vehicle just sitting there playing. And so I'd sneak up behind her or on the other side of the truck, and I'd sneak up on her, and I'd scare her. Well, at first I thought, it's got to be some sicko hillbilly druggie, drug her off in the woods or something, or somebody put her in her car and took her.
Wow.
What they're trying to do, what they're trying to use Andy for, it's gross. What they've done since, that I absolutely feel inside my soul and pick up little pieces of, because when they're the only ones on earth saying it, and then it comes to me in the form of feds not, like knock at the door prior, and then 3 days later they are digging in skis, and then the same bullshit, because they don't know what's happened with their bullshit calling and these hoaxes and all these prank bullshits, even on his sisters, who I know aren't lying, because I knew this from the first posts they made online that weren't written for them, because they knew enough about Utah that I knew they weren't lying. And I never doubted him. But then Don himself turns to me as one of their pals, and he's more worried about watching himself on YouTube and stopping that one night. Because he had taken me to town because my car was going to go off the cliff. So I gave him money and stuff to buy dinner and gave him like $20 for everybody had done an interview. And he was more worried about watching himself in that interview than anything. But he turns to me kind of distracted after passing. He's all like telling me about how, yeah, he did that to his sisters. And then it's like almost the last thought, after he says it, and it's been a couple minutes, and he's driving all erratic and trying to watch at the same time with the volume and everything. It's like an afterthought. It's like, oh yeah, but it was their fault, and they were trying my dad too, and I'm like, what the fuck?
You said you had.
Where the fuck you get that shit from?
Don, you said you had
Holy
videotapes
crap.
of me.
What? I have videotapes of Josh, apparently. What the?
I don't know why you're laughing.
Holy
You're the one that
crap.
said it.
Are you serious?
Don, you said.
How do you know that I said that? Why would I say that?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Number one, I don't lie, bitch. You can get that through your.
I don't.
Right
I
now.
mean, everybody lies.
No, I don't lie. I don't lie, motherfucker.
I'm not sure why Candace thinks it's so funny. I can play it for you if you want to hear it.
Because
Yeah,